Fellow Amazonians, good morning, good afternoon, good evening across the globe. This is the logistic chief of the ADM. I come here today to talk about the state of our revolution, the enemies from within, and analyzing the French coup, one of the biggest French coups in the oppression of the black race, specifically La République du Cameroon, masquerading as a nation where a gang of thieves have been grouped together by their colonial master France, continue the subjugation and oppression of its people, and also to continue the attempted genocide of our people in Ambazonia. I will delve into his end of year so-called or diatribe or speech that he gave out. I'll analyze it, I'll put some context in it, and I'll ask Ambazonians and also the people that he is assuming to be ruling. I'll ask a couple of questions. You know, we really have to be on top of our game. Ambazonia must and will come into fruition. Like I always say, we bought the one-way plane ticket, and our destination is freedom. Time is on our side. The decision for us to be free is not marked by how long it takes. It is the final result that matters. A revolution is not a walk in the park. Like our leader, Dr. Ayabacho always says, it is not a walk in the park. Let me open up this particular monologue that I'm trying to put out today with this, and then we'll delve into the discussions that I have today. Let me pull it up so that we can be able to discuss more about it.
If you're asking my personal opinion to keep Cameroon one must be divisible. Because it's a cliche that Cameroon is one and indivisible, because it's not true. Culturally, we are divisible. Language-wise, we are divisible. The law-wise, we have inherited that. So anybody who says Cameroon is one and indivisible is a fallacy. And so we would have to handle that issue very squarely and objectively. And that's what I call the truth. The truth must prevail. There is no doubt that there are people of both sides, that cherish their heritage. And the only way of keeping Cameroon together is to respect the respective heritages that we do have.
Operating around those that are stronger, that are effective. That's what we should be doing. In diplomatic, the Ambazonia Governing Council is a member of the OMPO, the biggest lobbyist firm for people who want independence. The Ambazonia Governing Council have secured an endorsement for our struggle from a European Parliament that has representative in the European Parliament in Brussels, and we have seen the results today. The Ambazonia Governing Council is the only movement that have sit face to face with the United Nations to speak since this Ambazonia uprising started for the interest and for our cause for independence. We are still the driving force. We brought together the European Institute of Peace that was sabotaged. We have the biggest footprint on the ground, the most popular in terms of the population that came out of 1st October, in terms of the physical cash that people donate. If those cash were votes, they are voted for Amazonian Governing Council. Abacho is the most loved leader that we have. He's the most loved leader that we have, and his deputies are the most loved people.
Okay, I bring these videos up again as resource to let Amazonian people know who is fighting, to let them know and understand who is fighting for our people. The truth never hides. No matter what, it stands the test of time. Even if you think you can shield the truth, it will always come out. The AGOVC and the ADF has always stood by the side of the truth. We started this revolution with a clear intention of freeing our people, and we will continue till our land is free. We will not bother about the distractions. We know that the freedom of Ambazonia is above the flesh. The footprints we put in today, will be judged by our future generation. Let me just take a little bit of time to give some highlights on what this vampire across the borders, who is attempting to commit genocide in our territory, what he put out on his end of year speech. By the way, I want to remind Ambazonians that, and remind the Republic of Cameroon, they forgot to celebrate their Independence Day. La Republic of Cameroon got its independence on the 1st of January 1960. We should always remember them and remind them of their date of independence. Every nation on earth celebrates its date of independence. In America that I live in, we celebrate our date of independence. Other nations in the world, they celebrate their date of independence. The only country in the world that doesn't celebrate its date of independence is the Republic of Cameroon. They have demonstrated that, and we'll have to continue to remind them to celebrate their date of independence, just as us, Ambazonians, celebrate the 1st of October as our date of independence. So hello to the La Republic of Cameroon citizens. You forgot to celebrate your date of independence. You got your independence your sham independence anyway, in 1st of January 1960. So we should always make sure that we remind them. Okay, fellow Ambazonians, let me go further to discuss on what the chief vampire put out the other day. Let me just touch on it, and I ask a couple of questions, because one of those days that you sit back and be light, we have to make sure that we continue to call the truth for what it is. Lying to people. And I analyze it point by point. I'll just give the highlights of what he said. A country that has no integrity, a bunch of liars. Like I said, I always describe Liberia Cameroon as, and the government has a bunch of thieves, armed robbers, put together by the colonial master, France, and oversees all their activities to continue to exploit and extort from that piece of land and its people. They are a gang of thieves masquerading as a government in a banana republic, being controlled by a foreign body in the continuous exploitation of its people. They don't have a country because they can't think for themselves. They can't chart a pathway for themselves. There are other fellows, the other fellow French citizens, or the other fellow countries that were colonized by France, Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, and you see now what is happening in Chad and the other countries. They are breaking free from the French exploitation. But the vampire, the bloodsucker in the Republic of Cameroon called Mbimbo Paul Biya, he has been one of the best. He himself said he's the best student, Mitterrand's student, in orchestrating the exploitation of its people. You know, let me just give a highlight of what he said so that we don't waste much time and go right to the meat of this discussion. He talked about strengthening stability and unity. He highlighted a couple of things. He talked about Boko Haram in the north of their country, decimating their country, in the northern part of their country. Instead of them pulling their forces out of our land and fighting to maintain their territorial integrity, they send them to continue to die in our land. He talked about progress in reconstruction of the Northwest, and he calls us Northwest, Southwest. No. We are Ambazonians. What type of reconstruction is going on there that people can talk about? Look at their roots. Look at their roots. Look at the state of that banana republic. The pretense. Why are they reconstructing? And why are they reconstructing anything in our land? We have stopped the burning of our villages. I'll bring one video here. The tools that we have used to prevent the attempted genocide of our people. We've stopped them on their tracks. What type of, I'm asking, reconstruction is going on in our territory? That people can listen and believe in this man. How does he feel when he speaks out those lies? Anyway, he's been trained by his master, France, on how to lie. We know there is nothing going on in our territory. We know he's just making up lies to please the international community, but we know the truth. He talks about continued separatist violence. We are a nation, and we are standing. If he can mention that in his speech, means that we are putting in the work. This is a dude who said that 8 years ago that they were going to stop us in 2 weeks. We are still fighting, and we are getting stronger. We are defining our terms on how to take care of our nation and how to rule our country. They don't have a hold over us. If you can call or say that continued separatist violence, no. We are fighting to free ourselves from the clutches of the Banana Republic, coordinated and controlled by France. We will not be exploited anymore. We are preventing the exploitation of our land. So he talks about economic growth. He gave some whoop-up figures that he had a growth rate of 3.8%. Who believes those people? I want to ask you, when you have a growth rate in a country, you measure it on how the civilians are faring on, how its people are faring on. When did that guy ever increase salary to his people if the economy is doing well? How do you see that? Look at their roads. Look at their hospitals. Those are the basic infrastructure. And they are going around and trying to, harass people who have put together their money in various communities and seize their water to continue to exploit them. Is that a country that is experiencing any form of growth? He lies to his people comfortably because he's been doing that for a very long time. He talks about improving Cameroon's living conditions. For real? When they are taxing people who are sending monies back home, they have already paid their charges. They are taxing that money. It shows that the nation is bleeding. We'll say one thing. We will continue to sabotage their economy, and they will continue to suffer, and we will cripple the economy. We said this, and we mean it, and we will continue to do just that. He talked about improving drinking water to urban and rural areas. They have been fighting various communities to seize their water, the water projects in those communities. What type of drinking water is he talking about? A country where you cannot even boast of energy, even though you are ready to pay, but they always cut lights all the time. How does he feel when he sits and lies to his people? He talks about anti-corruption, like the Republic of Cameroon, and fighting corruption. Do you believe him? You know, and then one of the last things I touched on was strengthening democracy. Is that country really democratic? My people. We want to make one thing very clear, and we always put it out to warn our people, to warn Ambazonians. We said 8 years ago until now, until we obtain our independence, no elections are supposed to be held in our territory. He's talking of standing for election. That senile carcass, they go and pull him off from wherever he is. He has lost his senses, and he's still talking of standing for presidential election. I feel so sorry. When you look at the state of their government, you feel so sorry for the people. We're not a part of that. But I'm just using this opportunity to send out one very clear message to continue to remind our people. And I'm putting this squarely also into the hands of our nationalist fighters. Anyone attempting to orchestrate the sham elections in our land, you are perpetuating treason. And you know the consequences of treason in our land. We are fighting an existential threat of our people. Anybody aiding and abetting the sham elections in our land, you are supporting genocide. You are supporting the perpetration of genocide in our land. You are aiding and abetting the enemy. And you are committing treason. We usually send out warnings beforehand. So if you find yourself in that situation, have yourself to blame. We treat that as treason, and they are traitors. If you are caught with any election material in our territory, in any way, shape, or form, supporting what they are planning to do in our land, know that you are committing treason, and you will be treated as a traitor. There will be no mercy for anybody attempting to orchestrate any form of election in our land. If you are caught, whether you are participating in any way, shape, or form, you know the consequences. I want to send out a warning to our people. And all our nationalist fighters, be on your guard. All our intelligence units, be on your guard. Within your various communities, if you see anybody attempting to perpetrate this sham or to rubber stamp the genocide of our people, because if you are supporting this election, you are rubber stamping the genocide of our people. You will be treated as a traitor because you will be committing treason. Mind you, we first of all send out the warnings, and if anything happens to us, happens to you, you will bear the consequences. Let nobody come running to the aid of COADF or other fighters, talking of their people being picked up. If you are picked up with any election material or aiding and abetting the genocidal regime to continue the genocide of our people, or rubber stamping the election or reversing the genocide of our people by supporting the election in our land, you will have yourself to be blamed. We want to make sure that it's very clear. No elections will be held in that territory. Nobody should participate or assist the genocidal regime in rubber stamping and continuing the orchestrate genocide in our land. They are colonizers. They colonized our land. Remember, we have internationally recognized boundaries in our territory. Those pillars are still there. So remember, if you are supporting any form of election in our territory, you are committing genocide, you are supporting genocide, you are aiding and abetting the genocidal regime of like Cameroon, and you'll be treated as a traitor. That is treasonous in our land. Mind you, and bear this in mind. So when he talks about preparing for regional and presidential elections, hope it stops in their land. We have been specifically targeted, and they have been attempting to genocide our land, but we have used our ingenuity in stopping them with our IEDs, the organization of our forces in pushing out the enemy. We've taken our destiny in our hands, and we will define and chart the pathway to our freedom unapologetically, and we make no bones about that. I just thought it wise to talk about a little bit about the nonsense that he put out there. He continues to lie to his people without any shame. They masquerade as a country controlled by France, a country that cannot determine the outcome of things, who sits where is determined by France, and they call themselves they are an independent nation. Well, let me also go into this piece of discussion I was about to put out today. The biggest part in my discussions today is the enemies from within. Fellow Ambazonians, we've always been telling you that one of your biggest enemies is from within us. It's from within Ambazonians. We've always said that not everybody who says Ambazonia is fighting for our people to be liberated. The 22nd of September, about 8 years ago, shows what our people want: total and unconditional independence. Our people came out and they marched in the entire Ambazonia. But from within, you still see the enemies, and will continue to put them out. Posterity will judge all of us. All what we are doing today is history for tomorrow. Where you stand, what you say, will define what you say, where you stand, will define your future generation. And you will be defined and marked for that. Before I go on, I would like to play this. I want to start off this second part of my video with this excerpt from the president of the AMBA-REVOLUTION-HIT. You know who's been fighting for you. Listen to his speech. One of the biggest speeches he ever made. And it will continue to remind our people.
By inch, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, rooster by rooster. Your freedom is in your hands. It is going to be fought inch by inch, block by block.
Let me play this video once more.
Your freedom is in your hands. It is going to be fought inch by inch, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, rooster by rooster.
Fellow Ambazonians, I hope we are understanding the message that the president of the AGOVC was relaying to us. We are going to fight every inch of our independence. The battle is not only with the external enemy. We have internal enemies amongst us that are extremely dangerous. I'll be putting out one of such cases today. When you hear him say, we are going to fight every level, I want to put out one excerpt of the type of enemy that we are dealing with internally. This fight for independence will be bloodier than ever expected. We have to brace ourselves, confront the enemy. The enemy is bigger than what we think it is. When the president said, we are going to fight every level of this for our independence, those words didn't just come in careless. They were not loops. They were measured. It sounded so beautiful, but they were measured words. We will fight. Brace yourself, Amazonia. The battle just started. Be ready if you want genuine and unconditional independence. And there will be no chickening out. Nationalists have given their lives for this revolution and gone before us. Those of us still standing, the battle is going to be bloodier. Brace yourself for it. And the worst enemy that we have is mobility. I'll be putting out one today. You will listen to what this guy has to say. Look at someone, Dr. Yabacho, fighting for your people. He has a track record of fighting for your people, of fighting for Amazonia. Let me continue. He was addressing our people. People thought it was just a place for show. No. He meant every word, and they were highly measured.
If you know them, we go die. Now only you, yeah.
In this crowd that he is greeting, amongst this crowd, there are traitors. There are people who are enemies of Amazonia. They don't mean who of Amazonia. Some of them who sat there listening and watching him. Some of them, they have their daggers drawn to destroy the person that is fighting for your independence. Handshakes at times. It's like the kiss of death. Some of them who stood with him in this crowd, they were looking for the least opportunity to devour him. And we see some of them in our midst. What they are saying, I'll be exposing some today. Look at the cry of our people across Amazonia. From north to south, east to west, they came out. They said, we are tired. We are done with this oppression. We are done with this colonization. Anytime, always go back to that image, those images. 22nd of October. Go back there and see how our people cried out. And then you will see those amongst us working for the enemy to laugh at our cry, to laugh at us.
I'm fighting. They are trembling.
I will be exposing one major enemy who supports this. This is machine guns that they are shooting at civilians in our territory. And this is what we have been trying to stop. You will see someone within the US military aiding and supporting the genocide of AMBA-REVOLUTION. Supporting this, standing for this. I will expose him.
For the free. Don't be late. Angry man, them say they no one hear them. Cause you know we do the way them did it. I see you blow. Blood of the innocent world. Yes, so come and save us. If we not there, we go die, yo. Cause coward no get it, yo. Now God the track, he fly, yo. Yes, so come and save us. If you not there.
See the pain that our people are going through. And some are okay. They jubilate. They make the mockery. They make a mockery of our people. Our pain. The sight of the enemy that is causing this pain on us. I will expose one today to you people.
We go die, yo. Cause coward no get it, yo. Now God the track, he fly, yo.
Think of Seseko, think of Deacon Tarzan, think of Fanfo, think of Mancho BBC.
A leader who cries for his own people being jailed. But there are people jubilating and saying he should rot in jail. There are people amongst us sitting and claiming to be defending the United States of America and putting on their uniform. He supports the jailing of our leader. He tells us that he should rot in jail. I'll put him out there. You hear from his own words, confirming and supporting the genocide of our people. Listen to Dr. Yabacho. Here, he still cries out for his people being locked up in jail. Other people who were fighting. He tells us to continue to think about them. But you see people sit amongst us and jubilate, drink champagne, that he has been picked and locked up, supporting the enemy.
Are you ready to lay your life for Amazonia?
Oni sopti bonyo na kaniba tonti bana baba.
This element, this character, these are the things that he sees and is comfortable. He walks with the enemy, he plots with the enemy in the destruction of our people. I'll put his face out there no longer. You will see what are the enemies, the dark side of humans. you will see the dark side of human nature. When they say that the devil, when we hear about the devil, it's not an abstract object. It walks in human flesh. We'll see one.
Stand up like na fire. How can we live like this? We know, Joe. If we don't care, we gon' die, yo.
Look at the pain of our people, and he jubilates. He says he works with the enemy. He's going to use the enemy to stop those who are fighting to stop the genocide of Amazon. Happily, you hear how he comes.
Cause cow ain't no get it there. That's what he tried, he fly, yo. Yeah, so come and save us. If we don't there, we go die, yo. Cause cow.
This is the pain that we've been going through for the over 60 years. And it was escalated and exacerbated 8 years ago. And count. We are fighting for we are fighting an existential threat. We are fighting for our collective survival. And some amongst us sit and jubilate and tells us he is working with the enemy, and he laughs that he is working with the enemy, and he works with the enemy comfortably to prevent us from fighting the genocidal regime of our people, of the genocidal regime trying to kill us, murder our people. And he cackles, feels comfortable, he laughs. I'll play it from his own words, from his own voice. I'll play it, and you people will listen to what he says.
No get it there. That's what he tried.
Look at our people being massacred. And the guy is happy to see us in this misery, in this pain. He comfortably says he works with the enemy, and he will continue to work with the enemy till they finish us. So, fellow Amazonians, I would like to put out something. It is actually painful seeing this. Dr. Ayabacho has been in the trenches for over 3 decades. He was lecturing us on what a genuine fight for independence means. You should be ready to give your life. You should be ready to lay down your life for our people. And you will listen very keenly to what this dude is saying. Like I said, you will listen and understand the dark side of human nature in some of our people. How demonic and evil some people can be, and they walk in our midst. Fellow Amazonians, listen to what this guy has to say, and then we'll talk more about it.
Ayabanosi picking them. I don't tell una say Ayabacho Lucas go rotten for prison, life imprisonment.
Look at the face of evil, the evil nature of a human being. This is the guy jubilating that Dr. Ayabacho is in jail. He forgets to understand one thing. We of the AGOC and the ADF, we have laid our lives for our people. The flesh means nothing. What matters is the determination and the pains we are ready to go through for our people. He jubilates, happy that Christmas has come and gone, and Dr. Ayabacho is not. And he says he's going to rot in jail. He lives. Dr. Ayabacho lives amongst us. He lives with us. You jail the flesh, but have not jailed his spirit. You jail the flesh, but you have not jailed the spirit. Let me repeat it in his own voice.
Ayabacho Lucas go rotten for prison. Life imprisonment. Christmas don't pass. Ayabanosi picking them. I don't tell una say Ayabacho Lucas go rotten for prison, life imprisonment. Christmas don't pass. Ayabanosi picking them. I don't tell una say Ayabacho Lucas go rotten for prison, life imprisonment. Christmas don't pass. Ayabanosi picking them. I don't tell una say Ayabacho Lucas.
This is evil that walks amongst us. Look at the face of evil that walks amongst us. He thinks genuine freedom fighters are afraid to die. He thinks they are afraid to go to jail. Look at the face of evil that walks amongst us. The enemies from within. He is jubilating. He thinks jailing us is going to stop the revolution. What has just happened and what happened in our land is that thousands of Ayabachos will come. Look at what is happening in Burkina Faso. Thomas Sankara's dreams, they killed his flesh, but the dream reigned. And you have seen how his dreams are coming true in Burkina Faso. Short-sighted, numbskull, wasted mass of protoplasms, they think that a revolution is fought with the flesh. He doesn't grasp the concept of revolution. The ideology and the ideas is what lives and reigns. Ambazonia will be free by any means possible. You can see the dark side of human nature. Like I said, whatever you do today, posterity will judge all of us. He is jubilating that Dr. Ayabacho has been jailed. He says he's going to rot in jail. Jailing us all will not stop the ideology of freeing our land. He openly admits that he is working with the enemy in stopping the revolution. This is the face of evil that walks amongst us. Take note. his future generation, his future bloodline will judge him on this. This is a person that is supporting and perpetuating genocide in our land. He is a proponent of crime against humanity. He wears the U.S. uniform. America stands for freedom across the world. But he stands, putting on their uniform, a symbol of freedom in America, but supports genocide of Ambazonians. He supports the genocide of our people. And he walks in the uniform of the U.S. military. Take note and look at the evil that lurks from within. These are the enemies from within. They are not far-fetched. And they are more lethal than the enemy that you see coming. They are hiding amongst us. Like I said, some of them were in DC when the president of the AGOPC was making that speech. They jubilate, they pop champagne, and they are happy, supporting the genocide of our people. He supports crime against humanity on Ambazonians. He is so joyous and happy. Let me play his second piece that he put out in support of genocide of Ambazonia. This is what he is doing. I said the enemy from within is lethal, extremely dangerous than Agro Cameroon. This is where we will fight the biggest fight, destroying those that are supporting and aiding and abetting the genocide of Ambazonia. The battle from within will be bloodier. But you see the enemies, you see the dark side of human nature. They walk and talk and act amongst us. This is what he put out again.
I come out for Momo. I be Momo man. And I don't repeat them. I don't call for Momo for conference. I don't call community for conference call. Tell them, say, we must use La Republic for stop these people the way they come for this. We will get some.
And he says what? They have to use the enemy. He calls it very clearly. He calls his name. He says where he comes from. Look at our children and our people being burned and killed. He openly says it. He admits it. That they should use the enemy to fight those who are fighting to free our land. Like I said, the demons and the enemies from within us, they are 10 times more lethal than the ones that cross our boundaries and come to fight us. Look at the face of evil. Look at how dark some humans are. He says he calls his people, the same people that have been killed, maimed, massacred, houses burned, that they have to use the enemy to stop those who are fighting to stop the oppression and genocide of our people. It's his voice. This is the face behind that voice. History will judge us all. Look at where he sits. And he calls the word to use La Republic, knowing very well that from his words, you know that he's talking about they should use the enemy to stop those who are fighting to free our people.
Fight will fight on different day because we're not going to win the fight. Now, me, I don't call them personally.
So you listen to him, psychologically attacking our people that they will not win. And they should join hands with the enemy to kill those who are fighting to prevent the genocide of our people, who are fighting to break our people loose from jails. From all the jails, they don't just like go to Cameroon. How many thousands of people are languishing in jails? Some have been killed and dumped. He stands and supports the enemy and supports the actions And he says they must use the enemy to stop those who are trying to prevent the continuous oppression, exploitation, killing, maiming, raping, and burning of our villages. The evil that lurks amongst us. When you hear about the devil, it is not an abstract object. They walk, talk, act in human form.
I need talk like saying that you do am. Me, I do am. I don't counsel people them on how to go about this thing. We go use La Republic to stop this struggle.
This is the faith of pure evil amongst us. These are the people that are putting a millstone, oppressing the boot of the enemy on our necks to maintain and uphold oppression of Ambazonian. You heard it in his own voice. That's what he's boasting and talking about. Remember the 22nd of September when the entire Ambazonian came out. What did we want? Freedom. These are the ones that sit and feel comfortable and enjoy our oppression and the enslavement of our people. I'll repeat it again. You hear it in his own voice, what he said. Look at the caption. Look at that's an Ambazonian child killed by the Holy Cameroon. Think about the Ngabu massacre. Think about all the killings of our people in jail. He wants that they should maintain the status quo of killing us, committing genocide in our land. He feels comfortable. And listen to how passionate he is. Let me play one.
Yes.
More.
I come off for Momo. I be Momo man. And I don't repeat them. I don't call for Momo for conference. I don't call community for conference call.
So he spends his time talking to the people to continue to suffer, to continue to be enslaved, instead of using that judicious time to figure out how to free our people. This is what he has been doing. You hear it in his own voice.
Tell them, say, we must use La Republic for stop these people the way they come for this.
They should use the enemy to fight the freedom fighters. That is what he says. Look at the dark side of a human being. Listen to pure evil. Listen to the demonic nature. The devil walks in human flesh. And this is one.
We'll fight on different day because we're not going to win the fight. Now, me, I don't call them personally.
You listen to the passion that he speaks. How passionate he is. Those that are stopping the burning and razing of our villages, the beheading of our people, the utter destruction of the people. Those who are fighting for genuine freedom. He picks his side and chooses to walk with the enemy. This is a proponent of genocide, a supporter of genocide. Like I said, what we do today, they will use them to judge us. This is what has been drawing down this revolution. He is happy that Dr. Yabacho is in jail. He is happy, and he says he's working with the enemy, openly admitting and advocating for the genocide of its people. This is what they used to call in the 40s when they were killing the Jews, the Jordan rod. Those who were more lethal. The Jews that participated in the killing of other Jews. They were even ruthless in rounding up other Jews for them to be sent to the concentration camp, the Jordan rod. These are the amongst Ambazonia. The demons and the devils that lurks amongst us. I always say, though not all of us that say Ambazonia, mean it. This is just one of the biggest enemies that we have amongst us. We know we have a very big fight ahead of us. Like the president said, the liberation of Ambazonia will be fought inch by inch, block by block. Those words were not coined out of nothing. This is the battle, the struggle, the survival of Ambazonia that he meant.
They talk like saying that they do me at the do I don't counsel people them on how to go about this thing. We go use La Republic to stop this struggle. Yes.
You guys heard it from his own mouth. Like I said, history will judge us all. History will judge us all. There are so many. Like I said, in the crowd that Dr. Ebacho stood in Washington, there are so many of them. When you do believe that he is in jail, free us. Shows you are supporting the enemy. You are supporting genocide in our land. You stand with the enemy. He says they should use the enemy to stop those who are fighting for our freedom. Collaborate with the enemy to stop those who are fighting for our freedom. He is an enabler of genocide. He is a traitor, and will mark him as like that. Listen to the passion, the way he speaks. You can see the dark side of human nature in some of us. Look, fellow Amazonians, revolutionaries, they don't fight with the flesh. The flesh is the person. Kill all the egg or seeds. Amazonia will still be free. We have implanted the seed. Those of you, if you don't see, look at what Thomas Sankara did. His spirit came back and is completing his work. You think you will attack us? You will face the wrath of Ambazonia. You comfortably sit and say you are going to walk with the enemy after seeing the massacre, the bloody massacre of our people. And you say you are going to walk with the enemy to destroy any resistance effort. You have seen the face. We will expose the enemies from within us as we move on. That is how demonic some people are. Mark this faith. And remember, mark the face. And remember, never you lose sight of this face. The future ambassadors that are coming, they will hold you and your bloodline accountable. The devil and the demons that moves amongst us. Keep the face and see how dark some of us are. How dark humans are. He says they should work with the enemy to destroy any form of resistance in our land. And he speaks with passion. You will not go unnoticed. You will not go unnoticed for the future Amazonians when our land is free. We will keep on pointing out the enemies as we progress. You see, let me still play something. I always want our people to pick certain things and really ponder upon them.
Your freedom is in your hands. It is going to be fought inch by inch, block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood, rooster by rooster.
If you know them, we go die. Now only you, they are fighting. They are stumbling for that freedom in land. Angry man, them say they no one hear them. Cause you know we do the way them did it. I see you blow.
This is what he stands and supports. Remember, he is happy seeing us being slaughtered. Remember,
Blood of the innocent world. Yes, so come and save us. If we not there, we go die, yo. Cause cow ain't no get it, tail. Now got the track, he fly, yo. Yes, so come and save us.
he feels comfortable in our pain. He speaks with passion to support the enemy. Look at what the enemy is doing to our people.
If you not there, we go die, yo. Cause cow ain't no get it, tail. Now got the track, he fly, yo.
Think of Seseko, think of Deacon Tarzan, think.
He talks about our people being locked up in jail. He doesn't forget them. Here he tells us that we should keep on fighting till all of them are. And this demon, this devil, he is happy that he is in jail.
Think of Mancho BBC. Think of Mommy Happy. Are you ready to lay your life for Amazonia?
Well, you chocolate. Only something bonjo. Na caniba, don't ibana, baba manda, like na firewood.
This is the pain that our people have gone through, and we are going through, and we are still going through. And he says we should work with the enemy. That he is working with the enemy to continue to cause pain. He is a promoter of genocide in Amazonia.
How can we live like this?
Our village is being burned.
We know,
And
we
he is
know,
happy.
just if we not there, we go die, yo.
He feels comfortable to work with the enemy.
Cow ain't no get it,
Continue to destroy
now
our
got the track, he fly, yo.
people.
Yes,
The pain
so
that we are
come
going
and
through.
save us. If we not there, we
Stop.
go die, yo.
He's fighting.
Cause cow ain't no get it, now got the track, he fly, yo.
Once more. Let me do this once more.
Prison, life imprisonment.
This is what, yep. This is one of the enemies from within. Acts like us, walks like us, talks like us. But you look at how warped up his mindset is. Jubilating, speaking with all passion that they have locked up Otayabacho that he should run with you. These are the ones that are trying to bring darkness in our land when we have started seeing iota of light. Remember this. Hold this in your mind. We will not forget. The future generation of Ambassador will not forget you. You and your kind. Fellow Ambassadors, we know that the biggest battle that we have is from amongst us. The biggest enemy is the one that you don't see. The most amongst us. You can listen to how excited, enchanted the enemy from within is and acts. I keep on asking Ambazonians, when they are happy that they take down the egg of seed, the ADF and Dr. Yabacho, do they have alternatives? What better alternatives do they have? They should present it. We've always said that when we have a better alternative in freeing our land, we'll sit back and fold our arms and allow them to go ahead. But he fights tooth and nail with passion to destroy the freedom fighters from within. Those who have stopped the genocide that the Liberal communists attempting in our land. He openly admits and states that he is working with the enemy day and night to destroy the internal resistance. You heard it in his own voice. And he calls it La République du Cameroon, that he knows that there are a different set of people who are different from us. But he says and admits he's working with the enemy. Not only talking, but he acts, calling people to identify the freedom fighters for them to be killed. And he puts on that uniform. The American people, when they see that, it's a disgrace to that uniform. It's a disgrace to them because they stand and vouch and fight for freedom. Seeing someone putting on that emblem on him and supporting the genocide of his people, happily and actively working on that, I don't think they'll find it normal. Ambazonians, hold your sleeves. The battle ahead will be bloodier. It will be bloodier. It will be fierce. The fight for Ambazonia will be fought inch by inch. And I want to bring to mind to our people the psyche of the war. The nature of the war that we are fighting. The beast. A chunk of it lives amongst Ambazonia. Don't only look outwards, look inwards. You will see the enemies from within. They attest. Some have been bought with money. And they have no pity for the pains of our people. Some voluntarily work with the enemy to cause pain on our people. Some voluntarily work with the enemy to identify our freedom fighters to be killed. And they openly say that. Keep their faces in your mind for a moment. It's not the now. The future will judge us. Like I said, I always tell our people we don't have to go far to look for a common example. Thomas Sankara, he started something in his country. They killed his flesh, but they thought they destroyed the revolution. It is alive and well. Blaise Compaoré, who killed him, in jail, language in jail. We should remember this and keep this in mind. Those who advocate for the genocide of Ambazonia, amongst us, those who advocate and support the enemy, amongst us, there will be a place and a time where justice will prevail. Whether you are alive or dead, they will still try you and give your own punishment. No matter where you are, to hurt Ambazonians, those that have taken money, those that work with the enemy openly and active to cause pain on our people, there will be a price to pay. You find fun in that. You laugh, you joke. The justice that's going to reign in Ambazonia will have cloth on its face. It won't have eyes. It will have a scale and a sword. The justice in Ambazonia will be blind, with just a scale and a sword. I here speak. If any of my brother or blood relative is participating in causing pain or harm to our people, most definitely I'll be the one to hold the trigger and the bullet when justice will come to prevail. I want to say it very openly. There will never be any truth and reconciliation in Ambazonia. No pain on Ambazonia will go unchecked. And justice will prevail. Before I end this slide, like I said, there will be no elections, no sham elections in Ambazonia. Anybody participating, aiding or abetting the sham election to normalize our oppression, the massacre of our people, the abuse of our people, you are committing treason, and there will be a price to pay for that. This week, a traitor, a bona fide traitor in the Donga axis was eliminated. He will continue to clean house. Some of us who sit in the diaspora and betray the cause, there will be a place and a time to pay for what you are doing. You might think you are safe wherever you are. Any pain that has been caused to Ambazonian people will not go unanswered. I just want to end this video this live video by showing how we are, what Ambazonians have been doing, the nationalist fighters have been doing in stopping the enemy from raising down our villages.
When I was here today in when I was seeing them, we Black Vampire was do them. Now they don't stand. Why? They don't stand. They come down small. They come down small. Colonial cross from soap. Black vampire. Why they don't stop? Why they don't stop? The shake come down small. Now we yarn on today. Why we not don't hear now? The one frightened we know nothing, no day, we know the shake. The one reach for target they go here. See people them. Why I hear you, quad man, the bomber cloud. Yeah. The shake. Now colony cross this from soap. When I don't hear yeah, damn too ma, they don't see am. And then that. Colony cross this from soap. They don't stand.
A lot of the enemy forces were eliminated in that action. It stopped them from going to our villages to burn our villages and kill our people. We should continue to support all our nationalist fighters, give them all the support they need. This is 2025. We all have to brace up and contribute to a liberation tax, supporting the fighters on the ground. Our freedom is in our hands. It will be fought inch by inch. Nobody will do this for us except us. It is our time and our moment. We will continue to fight the external and internal enemies at all fronts. Those who sit in the diaspora and are doing the dirty work of the enemy. We will continue to hold you accountable, make sure that you are not forgotten, and there will be a time and place to pay for participating in the genocide of Ambazonians. This dude openly states he is working with the enemy to destroy the internal struggle. He is working with the enemy to destroy the internal resistance. Shamelessly. A luta continua till freedom comes.